Hello, and welcome to a quick one-shot thing. I'm going to talk about Raw that just happened on February the 29th, 2016, as you can see on the screen. So a guy asked, I was posting my thoughts on Raw on Twitter like I usually do, and a guy asked me why I thought it was bad, and I told him, and then I felt like talking about Raw, so then here we are. So I'm gonna go over what I thought about Raw. And so Raw opened with Triple H coming down to the ring. He was cutting a promo on how Roman Reigns needs to not challenge the authority. But Ambrose comes out and says he's the last guy, Ambrose, that Triple H wanted to face at WrestleMania. And then he challenges him for the title. Triple H says, think about it. And then he makes a match with Ambrose facing Del Rio with League of Nations all around the ring. It's not a lumberjack match. It just, they're there. And then next up was Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks. And Charlotte, Ric Flair were ringside. Ric Flair had a really weird smile on him. He was like, it was like plastered on. It looked like really, like that was the only thing he was doing. Like every time the camera cut to him, he was like just that same smile over and over again. At least Charlotte was looking, concerned, interested, something like that. And it was a pretty good match. It was a lot better than the later match between Brie and Naomi. That's for sure. Ended up in a double pin draw when Sasha went for a sunset flip off the top rope, and then they fell down during the pin, so they both were like off each other pin, and it was a dusty finish. Nobody wins, as Steve would say, going in Raw. And Bray Wyatt cut a promo about how the definition of insanity, and how it's the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting something to be different. And he was like, maybe I am insane. But then he was like, maybe his mind is the key to saving the world. And I was like, ooh, that's okay, fine, sure. And then there was Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz, and I didn't give a single crap about either of these people, because, like, Ziggler's not going to go anywhere. He's been there for, like, many, many years. He's not going anywhere. The closest he got was that Money in the Bank cash-in, the World Heavyweight title, and then he had to vacate it because it kicked in the head by Swagger, I believe. Is that right? I'm pretty sure that's right. And Miz, they had turned on infinite finishers, like, in the game, and they're both going for, like, finishing moves, like scroll finishing finale, and super kick. And they both reversed it, and then it just ended in a roll-up in, like, 3 minutes. So that was, boring. I guess it was quick, so there's that. And they were trying to build it up as, like, is Miz building to another WrestleMania moment? It's like, nobody cares about The Miz. Nobody cares. I mean, if he does Miz TV, that's fine. I mean, he can do that stuff. He's fine at that. But as a wrestler, nobody cares about him at all. And then Stephanie came out to accept the achievement award that she didn't actually properly get to last week. And she said Shane ruined it, and the chants drowned her out, so she just cut a promo saying that eventually everyone would bow down to her and Triple H and all that stuff. It was not bad, actually. Stephanie is pretty good at promos when she is serious and time to do them. Then was Rusev and Sheamus versus Lucha Dragons. It was an alright match. I kept thinking I would care more about the League of Nations if Sheamus wasn't attached to it. Like, I don't know, like they like Sheamus, that's obvious, but there's just Sheamus is so boring. And everybody else in that team, Del Rio, Barrett, Rusev, that's all of them. Uh, they're interesting on their own, but just Sheamus is boring and it reflects on them, and that's not a good thing. I feel like I would take them more seriously if Sheamus wasn't part of that whole deal. 'Cause he's just there and boring, and nobody cares about him at all. Why couldn't they give the Money in the Bank to Barrett and have him, take Sheamus' spot? Because at least that would have been interesting. Like, Barrett's good at what he does. The bad news stuff was great, but then they kind of put that to the side and then forgot about it. Now he's leaving. I don't know. They were beating up on Sin Cara earlier in the match with outside shenanigans, League of Nations. And I'm reading results, and I don't quite remember the finish. I remember Kalisto flew out of the ring, and it says Rusev hits a big booty, whatever that means. I don't remember what that meant, but Rusev beat Kalisto, and then Del Rio beat down Kalisto, and then the league celebrates in the ring. They celebrated. That's about it. Did his little jump on a move, like the one guy used to do. I forget his name. He was on reality version NXT before it was actually a developmental thing. I forget what his name was, but all I remember is he referenced TNA in one of his promos. Kaval? Yeah, that guy. He does the same thing as Kaval, I think. I think like Kaval used to do something like that, or did he do the coup de grace like Balor does? I'm not sure, actually. I may be wrong about that. Anyway, next we had a ad for Subway with Natalia. That's boring. Literally nobody cares. And then we had Ryback versus Adam Rose. Social Outcasts were at the ring, and they got the jobber entrance. No entrance for them. And basically, it was Adam Rose got slaughtered, which, he was beaten up on Adam Rose, and I was surprised he wasn't getting counted for it. Like, the referee was trying to pull him off, but he wasn't counting. If he would have counted, I thought it was going to go to a DQ. Because Ryback was just pounding on Adam Rose and he wouldn't let him up. The ref tried to get on him, and then he just shell shocked him and left. Like, he just left. Like, he won and then he was gone, walking away. So that was boring. Like, if they want to make Ryback look strong and serious stuff, like, why didn't they have not the League Nations, the Social Outcasts, like, attack him or something after the match and have them, like, beat him down or something? I don't know. It was just, it didn't feel like it had a point at all. It was just, ooh, Ryback's a big, scary, tough dude, and he beat the crap out of Adam Rose. Ooh. Whatever. And next was Y2AJ versus New Day. And a pretty good match, actually. Even though the New Day promo before the match didn't really connect with me as much. But yeah, it wasn't bad. It just did connect for me, but that's okay. You can't get it every day. New Day is still really good though. And there was serious splashes outside for Styles and Jericho. And Xavier Woods did the musical accompaniment with the corner spot as he usually does. So that was I always like that. That's amusing to me. But it was a pretty good match. And Jericho got the Walls of Jericho on Kofi after he reversed the Troll in Paradise. So they're waiting on the Jericho turn just one more week, just giving it a little more stakes, which is fine. They're doing it for next week for the titles, which that's fine. If they win the titles, I really don't think they're gonna do that. I really think it's that Jericho's gonna turn, and it's gonna be them at Mania, and New Day is gonna fight. I don't know, League of Nations, I guess. There's no reason I was gonna say there's no reason League of Nations has been so prevalent lately, but I don't know, maybe. Eh. And next segment was Vince walking down the ring, saying how I've got the Undertaker and he's the instrument of destruction, and then Taker walked to the ring for like 10 minutes. And then literally all Taker said was, the blood of Shane's gonna be on Vince's hands. And then he left. That's it. That's all he said. Alright. Alright, Taker, bye. Your entrance literally took longer than anything you said. You could have, I don't know, threatened Vince that you don't want to fight Shane, but you clearly don't care. So you're like, fine, whatever. It's on your hands, not mine. I'm just gonna do it because I'm the dead man and I beat people up in steel cages. I don't know. It just really came off as like meh. They hyped it so much that you felt like it was gonna be something. And coming off last week was exciting, but they just gave you that, and that was it. So I don't know. I'm hoping next week when Shane comes back, they'll breathe life into this a little more. But it wasn't very good this week. A little less excited, but I know there's still like 3-4 weeks until Mania, so I guess they can bring it back then. Anyway, after Taker left, Vince said that he's gonna write Shane out of his will, and then he called him a son of a bitch, and that was it. And there was Bubba Ray versus Jey Uso, and basically the only thing of interest happened. The D-Bon threw a table at Jimmy and really fucked him up, and that looked cool. And then Bubba just beat him with a Bubba Bomb. The end. And then R-Truth was like, no, I'm not gonna team with you, even though they should just team already. It's getting a little ridiculous. Like, we know they're gonna team, so just team them up already. Are you waiting until after Mania? Is that what you're doing? If you're gonna have segments like that every week, then I'm not gonna want to see them, because by the time you actually show them off as a tag team, I'm gonna be like, meh, I lost interest in this a long time ago. So just do it already. Just put him in a team and do it. Put him against League of Nations or something, because Are there really any more healed teams right now? I don't. Well, I guess Dudley's, but they're busy with the Usos. League of Nations is doing something. Social Outcasts, I guess. I guess they can do something with the Social Outcasts. That's fine. I guess they're heels. Are they heels? I'm not even sure. I mean, I suppose they would be. And then next match was Big Show and Kevin Owens, and it was an alright match. Owens threw a Big Show in the turnbuckle, hit a super kick, and then he went back in the ring trying to go for the count out. Big Show was gonna get in, and then he hit a tornado DDT on Big Show. And then Big Show gets back in the ring before the 10 count. And Owen goes up to the top and then drops him on the rope. And then Owens fell outside and he got counted out. Apparently, like what happened on SmackDown. They told us. So, you know, even Steven count out. That's great. Then the next match, before it happened, Brie was being interviewed, and then Lana showed up and was insulting Daniel Bryan, and then Brie with the comeback that Rusev did a good job in the Revenant as the Bear. So, you know, that's interesting. Might bring up a Lana Brie match in the future, maybe a Mania. That's interesting since Lana never did actually have a match. And then it was Brie versus Naomi. There's a really stark difference between Becky and Sasha to this, because I was really struck by how weird looking Naomi's punches were. They were really bad and missing. It was wasn't even believable. It was just I don't know. I mean, Tamina was getting involved and giving Naomi the advantage, and that's fine. And then Brie did the Daniel Bryan kicks to Yes Chance, which was fine. I don't mind that. That's okay. And then Tamina distracted Brie, and then Naomi did a weird submission hold that I couldn't even tell what it was even doing. It looked more like a rest hold than an actual submission, but Brie tapped, I guess. Then Lana came out, and then laughed at Brie, and that's about it. And Becca and Sasha were talking about what happened with their draw, about how if it would have been a little longer, they would have beat each other. And then Charlotte came over, and it was Charlotte came over and told them they're gonna have a rematch on SmackDown for that #1 contender spot. And then she said that they're acting like high school kids if they're being asked out to the dance, which is an analogy, I guess. And came the main event, Ambrose versus Del Rio, which was good. Actually, I did not have a problem with it. And then Triple H came down to, again, after last week, interrupt the main event, because why even make matches if you're going to interrupt them just to make a point? I don't know. He made League of Nations attack Ambrose and gave Ambrose a DQ win. And then he gave Ambrose the match after he hit him with a pedigree, after Ambrose attacked him. The Triple H walks away. Ambrose says thanks for the title shot. And then Triple H gets all mad and takes off his coat and rolls up his sleeves. and then he throws Ambrose out of the ring. And then he beats him up on the announcer's table, and he threw Saxton out of the way, which I thought was funny. I thought he was gonna pedigree him through the table, but he didn't. He didn't get to murder him that much. And that's how Raw went off. I I don't know. It was pretty passable. Like the only good things were the main event itself. The matches were meh for the most part. I mean, Styles and Jericho, New Day, that was good. It was a good match. And Rusev and Sheamus versus Lucha Dragons was alright match. I can't complain about that. But and the Becky and Sasha match was really good. But a lot of it was missable really, and didn't feel like it contributed to anything. Yeah, it was kind of meh. Had a good match here or there. It was good, but it was, just wasn't great. Pretty bad. Eh. Anyway, that's my talky talk about Raw. That went on for 21 minutes, and I'm at 22 by the time I finish this. Yeah, I just did this as a fun thing. I rambled a lot, and I don't know, got things wrong, offended people, and now everybody's mad at me. Oh well, fuck if I know. I'm just rambling about wrestling. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, let me know. If you didn't enjoy it, also let me know. Or if you just don't want to let me know anything, you don't have to let me know anything. You can just, not say anything. Call me a dummy on Twitter that I'll never see because I don't know who you are. You didn't say anything to me. Anyway, yeah. So I'm Jake, and that's what I thought about Raw. Bye.